So I went to watch Joker 2 in the movies, and man, there was one family there, and that was it. This movie is going to leave theaters soon and barely make a profit, which is a genuine shame. Before we get started, yeah, this will be a sort of review for the movie, but I want to get one thing clear. All the ratings you've seen and the negative press about this movie, I genuinely feel it's mostly unwarranted. This is a musical. This is still about Arthur Fleck. And if those two things put you off, that's fair. I personally love musicals, but I get how someone breaking into a song and dance number can leave people annoyed or bored. I also understand your disappointment if you expected bigger focus on Harley Quinn. But this is not the worst movie that's come out this year. It isn't even a bad one. It's a movie that took too many risks and alienated the mass audience that saw and liked the first one. But by God, is this a flawed movie? And yet, through those flaws, you can still hear a vitally important message. People never really love you, they love a romanticized version of you. So, how long will you keep up the mask that they love? Let's start with the musical segments. There's a lot. Like, a lot. Sometimes going on for damn near 20 minutes. More specifically, when there isn't a full on musical, someone is singing a tune as dialogue, or there is a song from 1950s America playing. It's downright extreme at times. But as established, I love musicals. So there you go, that's a plus. Final review score 500 out of 10. I'm smart and you are all dumb. The songs are generally good, and a weird detail, I think, is Joaquin's singing voice starts off downright terrible, and near the end he's okay, while Gaga, come on, she's a great singer. The set design is also something I don't often take notice of, but I liked it. It's a straight-faced homage to 1920s and 30s, a time where musicals were dime a dozen. Performances were also generally great. Lady Gaga does a good job with how little her character actually has of substance. Really, despite what I talked about earlier, I feel, at least in terms of quality, the movie would have been better from her perspective, and how she is turned into the Harley we're all familiar with. Sort of like Joker 1, but from her perspective, as despite the great message in theme, her character is completely static and doesn't really do a whole lot. Joaquin Phoenix does a great job as Arthur Fleck again, and when he's allowed to be the Joker, he's downright mesmerizing and steals the scene. There's a scene in the courthouse where the Joker goes on a full-on rant, and he's both funny, depressed, and furious all at once, and it is a damn feast to witness. I also found the dynamic between the two noticeably different. Listen, the relationship between Joker and Harley isn't known for being particularly wholesome. He's pretty abusive in every incarnation, and everywhere he's shown to be manipulative and physically abusive towards her. I found it interesting how the roles are mostly reversed here. Lady Gaga's Harley is the manipulative abuser here. She does not want Arthur, she wants the Joker, and she tries every play in the manipulator book to try to get him to stay with her. I wouldn't call it better or worse for the film, just different. And also, the third act is generally pretty weird. A lot of things just sort of happen. Suddenly the courtroom explodes. After one beating and a prisoner dying, Arthur is a changed man. Suddenly he was stabbed. None of these things come so far from left field that they're unbelievable, but it's constantly one shocking thing out of nowhere after another, which, after some thinking, does make sense. The bomb was planted by angry riders who wanted to free their hero. There were some scenes showing Arthur's doubt in his Joker persona, particularly with Gary, who managed to tug at his heartstrings. And the crazy killer psycho was an angry fan who became disillusioned with Arthur's confession. I just would have preferred like more a better lead up to these events. I feel that Joker's best parts are the acting, the musicals, if you're into that stuff, though I will say that they overstay their welcome a bit, and what might be both a negative and a positive, its themes. I mentioned him at the beginning, but Arthur's realization that no one truly loved him, just the Joker, is a powerful message that is mostly delivered quite well. But the movie's utter devotion to it prevents Harley from getting the attention that she deserves. And Arthur also seemingly skips several scenes of his development, or the plot not being allowed to do much besides Arthur's trial and the riots still ongoing. Though they're also almost a technicality. All you see of the riots is angry crowds in the courthouse. The overarching theme of how people don't really love Arthur but they love the Joker is explored amazingly well throughout the film. This movie isn't about telling fans of the first one to go fuck themselves, like this dumbass article points out. It's about the dangers of romanticizing a human being. The movie is good. Going for real on the whole score thing, I give it a 7 out of 10. It is flawed, and you might not like it, which is fair. But in an era where entertainment is getting increasingly more formulaic and samey, I will always cheer for movies or games that try to do something different than the established norm. I've heard it said by a YouTuber called Nikki Jakey. Yes, I'm an internet person, fuck you, I just saw Pyrocynical's 8-hour manifesto on the Darkwood video game. Nikki Jakey said that 7 out of 10s walk so 10 out of 10s can run. The 7 out of 10s do something new that they don't quite manage to do properly, so the 10 out of 10s iterate and improve on those ideas. Joker 2 feels like the perfect 7 out of 10. It's trying and, in my opinion, somewhat succeeding at doing something new. But if you look at the revenue and the reviews, it seems it failed at that new thing. Thanks for watching.